Welcome to my channel. If you have orchids whose leaves have softened and faded, you can revive these orchids. It is possible to revive orchids whose leaves have softened or turned yellow. Autumn is the ideal season to revive these types of orchids. I would like to take a short break from the video to inform my dear followers. Please do not forget to turn on subtitles while watching the videos. Choose subtitles in your native language. Activate the ability to watch my videos in your native language. My videos now have an English audio listening feature. Please also enable the English voice listening feature. To do this, list these steps immediately. Click on the settings in the lower right corner. Then click on Audio Track. Select the English voiceover instead of the original Turkish voiceover. You can then listen to the video with English audio. I will prepare fertilizer to revive the orchids whose leaves have softened. I use a teaspoon of granulated sugar for fertilizer. Granulated sugar is the best method to revive orchids, especially those whose leaves have softened. Add a tablespoon of instant dry yeast on top. Pour boiling water over the granulated sugar and yeast to dissolve them quickly. You can also use hot water. I'm mixing it up a bit. Granulated sugar accelerates the activation of the yeast. In this way, vitamins and minerals are released. I use 1 liter of water for the fertilizer I prepare. I only use 1 L of water. You can use 2 liters of water if you wish. Now I strain the yeast I prepared. Nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus are needed for plant development. These elements contained in dry yeast quickly mix with the soil. It accelerates the root development of the plant and protects it from diseases. That's why I put the yeast mixture I prepared into a spray container. I will use this on leaves as well. I will use 3 different methods to revive orchids. So please try to watch the video until the end. First, we will revive the orchids whose leaves have softened and faded. Orchids soften their leaves in this way, especially as the roots rot or due to excessive watering. What we need to do with such orchids is to revive the orchid immediately. For this, we provide fertilizer support and plenty of light. Now I spray the fertilizer I prepared on the orchid leaves. Since the orchid does not have much strength, I cut off the flower branch. The important thing is that it grows new roots. And the leaves revive. So we'll just make sure it gives its power to the leaves. After spraying water in this way, be sure to wipe the undersides of the orchid's leaves with a cotton ball. 2. Method. I use this yeast to keep not only the leaves but also the roots of orchids healthy. I use about 8 tablespoons of this yeast. You can give this yeast mixture fertilizer to orchids once a month. Do not give too much of this type of fertilizer. The amount you give is very important. I will immediately apply the same process to my second orchid.
Orkideyi yapraktan.
After fertilizing the orchid from the leaves, be sure to open the window and place it on a windowsill. Or, like me, place it directly on the balcony to help the water on the orchid dry. I will also share with you the development of these orchids. I want to leave you with the results right away. Before moving on to the third method, if you have watched my video up to this point and liked it, please press the like button and subscribe to my channel to support me. I have another orchid whose leaves have softened and whose roots have completely rotted. It is possible to save such orchids. Now I show you how we should care for such an orchid. Since all the roots of the orchid are rotting, I take it out of its soil and pot. The roots of the orchid are completely rotten. Look, when I pull it like this, it stays in the shape of a wire. This indicates that all the roots of the orchid have rotted. In such a case, we cut off all the roots and clean the trunk of the orchid thoroughly. This sponge is the cause of root rot in orchids. Because the sponge absorbs a lot of water, it causes the roots to rot quickly. If you do not want the orchids to be like this, please give the orchids very little water. Too much water always kills orchids. I clean the root part thoroughly. Then I will disinfect it by washing it in the fountain. I will disinfect the orchid with fermented water to revive the orchid whose leaves have softened and lost its roots. I completely immerse the orchid's leaves in this water and remove them. I will especially dip the body part into this water. Then I will leave it in this water for an hour so that the orchid can revive and disinfect. I take out the orchid that I kept in the fermented water for an hour. I will wait for my orchid to dry. This process is important. I kept my orchid in a cool place for an hour. As you can see, the yeast water on it has dried. Now we can animate the orchid. Look, I covered his mouth with stretch film. And we will provide airflow by opening small holes on it. I will also share with you the development of my orchid. If you watched my video up to here and liked it, I would be very happy. If you click the like button and subscribe to my channel to support me. On the other hand, do not forget to turn on the English voiceover in the audio section so that you can listen to my video in your native language. Thank you for watching my video this far. Goodbye, and stay healthy.